But I do want to talk about Tom Brady because he's been talking about retiring. This is one of the lead ups to the game. Tom Brady, this might be it. He might call it. And then he went on his podcast and talked about how he wants to spend time with his family, how Giselle doesn't like to see him get hit, and he's old and he has kids now, and they're getting to an age where he wants to spend time with them. And man, everything just seems to point that Tom Brady is gonna retire. Tom Brady's gonna retire. I feel it. With the documentary coming out, everyone's like, "Why is the documentary coming out when he's not even done? Like, he should have waited for his career to be over, for him to drop this great documentary." But he's still writing his book, his chapters of his NFL career. But what if he knew this was it? What if the reason the documentary came out this year is just, instead of having a farewell season, instead of having a farewell tour, we could just, enjoy his career episode by episode on his last season. And I think he changed the light in a lot of people's mind. I know he changed how I view him, especially with the last 2 years with the Buccaneers. In my opinion, he became more likable. He showed a little bit more of his personality. He wasn't just a robot. He really he looked like a fun guy. And, he made a TikTok. He made a Twitter. He made some funny TikToks. He made some funny tweets. Yeah, he went on to the Manning cast. He really shined and showed his personality these last few years. And I think separating him from Belichick was good. They will always be tied hand in hand, and they will always be known as the Patriot way. But these last 2 years really helped us see who Tom Brady is. And he terrorized most of the NFL for years and years and years. And if you're almost any team in the NFL, you kind of probably hate this man just because he's won so much and your team hasn't, especially if you're the AFC, especially if you were one of the good teams. I think I've said this in another podcast explaining why each team would hate Tom Brady. And, if you're in the AFC East, obviously you don't like him. He punished you. He owned you for 20 years. If you're the Colts, you probably don't like him because, he took care of Peyton Manning. He prevented you guys from winning championships. Same thing goes to the Steelers. Same thing goes to the Ravens. You could have had more chips if it wasn't for Brady. The Chargers, same thing. Chiefs, AFC championship game, same thing. You probably don't like him. And you can just keep going on and on and on and just start thinking about why your team didn't like Tom Brady. But like I said, these last 2 years with the Buccaneers, the documentary, his personality, social media game, it's really helped change the light on Tom Brady. So I, for one, will say that I'm going to be sad. And I don't think I would have said that before. He was just the enemy. He was just, a cheater. He had all these scandals. But I must admit that if Tom Brady retires, it's going to be a sad day. And I've came to appreciate, the career he's had. He's the GOAT. We're happy. I'm happy to have, watched the NFL. Basically his whole career. I've watched him go from a game manager to a prolific passer, to breaking the record with Randy Moss, to, making two tight ends popular, cool again, to using running backs, to really pushing the envelope on, passing running backs, and just being a warrior, man, bringing teams back. And of course, still got to throw a little slight, being advantageous, always having a good defense to back him up, and the refs giving him some few, soft calls. But other than that, if this is it for Tom Brady, which I think it is, everything seems to point that he's ready to call it. He's ready to, go be with his beautiful wife, Giselle, enjoy his kids. What a great career. And I respect you, Brady. Great career, man. You honestly, probably for people that talk about this football, who like to go to the barbershop and talk about sports, who like to chop it up with their homies and just talk sports, I think Tom Brady has been part of our lives for the last 20 years, more than any other quarterback. We've probably talked about him more than anybody else, just because he always wins. He always beats our teams. He's always in some controversy. He's just, he would always be talked about. So I know Tom Brady has had an impact in my life. You always got to talk about Tom Brady. He's always up in the standings. And that always means he's in big games. He's in the Sunday night football games, Monday night, Thursday night. Anytime your team plays his team, if your team's doing good, Brady's team's doing good, marquee matchup. Whenever a team's doing good, they're playing Brady, marquee matchup. Your quarterback is doing good, he's playing Brady, marquee matchup. So this is it for Brady. Enjoy retirement, do your thing, come back to California, enjoy retirement. But if it's not, it's gonna be, we'll welcome you back with open arms, Tom Brady. If Garoppolo still has a job, I'm pretty sure Tom Brady could play till he's 60 and still be better than Garoppolo.